This is Bold Future News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Remington Hernandez. Today we have an interview with the man who is the founder of a company that puts people with companies in order to better their entrepreneurial skills. He is Isaac Morehouse. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you, Remington?
I'm doing just fine. Isaac is the founder of Praxis. So tell us, what is Praxis, Isaac?
Praxis is a one-year program where young people that are tired of being in the classroom, they want to get out and engage with the world, they have the opportunity to spend a year working with entrepreneurs who are running startups, small businesses, and learning on the ground what it takes to run a business and sort of all of the aspects involved, as well as a rigorous sort of self-directed curriculum that includes coaching from our advisors, but a lot of projects that the participants are building for themselves. So they have goals that they set forth and they build websites. They, pick up skills that they're really interested in picking up. And we kind of help them construct the processes, the disciplines, the habits, as well as the content to gain the skills and knowledge that they want. So it's not based around, here are all these things that we want you to do to get a Praxis stamp of approval. It's based around, what do you want to gain and learn? What kind of person do you want to become? How can we help you get there through the program?
Who might this interest?
Really, I mean, anyone in age range wise, 18 to 25 is the age range. Anyone who's kind of bored and tired in the classroom, but who's sharp, hardworking, and always working on some kind of scheme or side hustle, someone who's enterprising and who knows that they want to do more. Maybe someone who thinks they might want to be an entrepreneur. They're not really sure, but they know for a fact they don't want to just sit on the educational conveyor belt and keep moving to the next step and waiting for people to hand them certificates and hopefully hand them a 9-to-5 job. Someone who really wants to take charge and create their own future.
Your website says, see how 1 year can change your life. So tell us, how has it already changed lives?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, some of our graduates, many of them are getting job offers from the businesses that they work with through the program. And some of them are going to, start their own thing. But we've had really the coolest stories are those who, they were bored and restless in college. I just was talking to an alumni named Mitchell, and he dropped out because he just needed something different. He heard about Praxis, he got accepted into the program, and he moved to a new city to work at his business partner to go through the program. It was scary. It was the real world for the first time in his life with real responsibilities, but huge opportunity. A year after he graduated, he just got back with me and said, hey, I wanted to give you an update. He was hired on as his business partner. I hit my sales goal for the year. I'm going to make 6 figures this year. I would still be sitting in a classroom hoping to get a job that would make me get to that point in my life, maybe 10 years down the road. That's where my friends are. It's kind of for those people who, they say, why wait? Why not build the life I want right now? What am I sitting around, in this classroom waiting for permission to move to the next step?
So can you explain what personalized development projects are? I know that you've explained those here and on your website as well.
Yeah, we call them PDPs. So this is really a very cool concept, and this is kind of the core element of the Praxis educational experience. So you're working 30 hours a week at your business partner, but in conjunction with that, you're doing about 10 to 20 hours a week of an educational experience, and the fundamental building block are these PDPs, personal development projects. And what they are, they're a series of 30-day challenges. So 1 month there'll be one PDP, and you work with your advisor to come up with it. So we ask our participants, what are your goals for the program as a whole, and then what are your goals this month? So 1 month, it might be building your own personal website and adding a blog post to it every day for 30 days. And we have a lot of sort of material in our curriculum library that helps you understand, helps you learn how to build a basic website, what are things you should be looking for, how to sort of craft and find your own brand, writing tips, etc. Some of our participants have done things like write a novel, something that they've wanted to do, or learn a foreign language, or learn a programming language, or go through and learn one of the subject areas in our curriculum, like history, economics, business, philosophy. and make the deliverable at the end be something like a podcast interview on the topic. So it's a series of daily challenges within a 30-day time frame, and they have some way to be sort of reporting the outcomes and staying accountable. And at the end of the 30 days, there's always a tangible deliverable, something that can demonstrate created this. I have improved myself in the following way, so that it's not just I consumed a bunch of information, but rather take a look and see for yourself what I've created.
With that, it says you can earn personal capital. Could you give us an explanation as to what that is?
Yeah, we talk a lot about this concept of social capital, and I think that's far more valuable than any amount of money. Your network, the people that you know, your reputation, that's based around the way that you behave around people, the way that you interact with them, obviously online, but in person especially. And every time you interact with someone, you have an opportunity to build social capital, to build goodwill, to make them say, hey, I like this person. Maybe I might want to help them out. And maybe they're not consciously thinking this, but when you need favors, you need help, you're going to start a business, you're going to launch a product, whatever it might be, you need to dip into that social capital. But if you've only ever asked people for favors and, not been sort of generous with your personal network, then it's going to be hard. You're not going to have very much. So it's kind of this concept. It's another way to say networking, but I think with a much more relationship focus and understanding the long-term value in a knowledge economy, especially of having that reputational capital, that social capital. Those are the people that are going to help you, are going to connect you to other people, are going to help you get the resources you need to embark on the kind of things you want to do.
You've mentioned businesses and companies that have signed on to work with Praxis. Can you tell me, who are they and what do they do?
Yeah, we have over 200 businesses in our business partner network, and they're all over the country. I'm going to give you some examples briefly before I give you a few examples. The criteria we really look for are companies that have usually in the 5 to 50 employee range. So they're small. It's not like an internship where you're in a cubicle farm with 100 interns making coffee. The growing businesses where the founder is still actively involved. So they're in growth mode. They're not just kind of repeating the same thing over and over again. And where the participant gets a chance to really work alongside founders, CEOs, and see what all aspects of running a business are like. Those are sort of the general criteria we look for. So it takes a variety of industries. It takes a lot of forms, the different business partners we have. We have everything from software companies in places like Austin, Texas, sort of tech startup scene. We've got financial service companies. We've got a Bitcoin processing payment company in Atlanta. We've got a marketing company that helps entrepreneurs market their services here in Charleston. We've got, they're all over the country. We even have some that are in manufacturing, but the work experience is sort of in the broader, like working on the marketing and product development and financial side. So the industry and the type of business can be really diverse, but the quality of the experience is really what we focus on in all of these. And sometimes it's even shadowing someone who owns multiple businesses and just kind of being a utility player for that entrepreneur and really being their right hand man or woman.
Praxis seems like a big undertaking. So tell us, what inspired you to create all of it?
Yeah, they say every good business was founded by someone scratching their own itch. And that is definitely true in this case. I would have been 13 now. When I was in college, it was just a waste. I mean, it just felt like such a waste to me. I was working at the same time and trying to pay my way through. And I was learning so much on the job. I was in way over my head. I was working with a small business owner, and I gained so much. And here I turn around and pour all that money back into school where I'm sitting through these boring classes in cinder block cells that nobody cared about. None of the other students were paying attention. The professors weren't that interested in teaching at the time. And it just seemed like a racket. And I thought, man, there's got to be a way to help people transition. And let's be totally honest. People go to college just to buy the piece of paper. I mean, everything else about the experience could be had for free. They're paying for it just to buy the piece of paper because they're afraid without it, they can't get any kind of job. And that's their ticket to a job. Now, it's true that it has some value on the job market, but that's changing. The value of the degree is declining. And now there's all these other tools available to you to signal to the world, to employers, who you are and how valuable you are. Check out my LinkedIn profile, Google me, check out what I've done. Here's my track record. Here's what I've created. That's more valuable than a degree. So my idea was, let's condense this. All the great things you can learn, all the information that's out there online, let's take the best of all these resources. Let's combine it with what's really needed, which is not just information, but transforming your habits and your lifestyle with sort of coaching and personal challenges. Let's build it around tangible results built around your own goals. And let's combine that with experience all in a one-year package working at these businesses. So at the end of the year, you've had basically a whole year to prove to this company or others what you can do, the value you can create. That's worth so much more than a piece of paper that says I got a BA somewhere. Now, I don't mean to say that it's only seen as a replacement for college, because we have a lot of college graduates that apply and that go through the program because they still just didn't get what they need. So for me, it was seeing this in my own experience. And then over the 10 years that followed, I worked in and around high school, academia with college students, high school students, and just seeing them increasingly frustrated and bored, and then working with entrepreneurs when I was doing fundraising and seeing them increasingly frustrated that they were always looking for good talent and they could never find it. And I thought, well, this is a really weird thing. You got all these people, all these young people graduating looking for jobs and they can't find them, and all these business owners looking for employees and they can't find them because these young people aren't getting what they need in college to become valuable in the workplace. So let's speed up this process and let's let people get out there and finally just seize on the opportunities around us to become entrepreneurs that are far greater than they ever have. I mean, the ability to start a business or just be entrepreneurial, be a part of a growing startup is greater than ever. And I don't think any current educational program or system really addresses those needs. They're based on sort of a worker mentality, and we want to help people become creators.
Now, how do you feel about the current stigma that you need college to succeed? You need a degree to go far anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, if you're going into a field that legally requires a degree, then obviously you need a degree if you're going to do that. Otherwise, you'll get arrested practicing medicine or law without a degree, unfortunately. But for all these other things where it's not a legal requirement, there's really, the value is so low because you're not actually becoming someone who's better at those things in almost every case, or certainly not gaining skills that you couldn't gain better, faster, cheaper otherwise. It's really that signal that lets you get past the HR department, but increasingly that doesn't matter either. As I said before, and there's even a lot of large companies now, Google, there was another one, it's escaping me right now, one of the big consulting firms who are no longer using a degree as a requirement. People want something more because degrees are ubiquitous. Everybody has one and it doesn't mean anything. So there's an opportunity now for the most eager and talented people to say, hey, I can build my own signal that's more valuable than a degree. I can build a website. I can build a portfolio of things that I've done that demonstrate who I am in a way that's more powerful than any degree. So why get it in the first place? I think that's really, really changing. And I think over time, this next generation, that stigma of not going to college, if you're doing something productive, will go away. And that's a good thing.
So what's your message for people going into college, people already in college, and maybe even the dropouts?
Yeah, I mean, my message is pretty simple. Life is too short to be bored, to be uninspired, to be not enjoying what you do, to feel dead inside. Don't do things you hate doing. If you're bored, if you're sitting there, if you're languishing in the classroom and it's not doing anything for you, if you know you're not really pushing yourself to be your best self, you're not feeling fulfilled, you're kind of just moving along, going through the motions. If you're in a job that you hate, life is too short to stay in that position. So the first step is just exit that bad situation. As long as you're not doing things you hate, everything else is fair game. It's too much pressure to try to figure out what you love and find your one true calling. You might not even have one, or it might what you'll be doing in 10 years might not even exist yet. So that's a lot of pressure. Instead of trying to find the one thing, just stop doing all the wrong things. Stop doing things that aren't making you come alive. Stop doing things that you hate and get out there and experiment with everything else.
Now, tell us, if someone wants to get involved with Praxis, how can they do it?
Yeah, check out discoverpraxis.com. We've got a lot of information about the program there. The program, we accept people on a rolling basis. We have classes that launch every month. Again, we have business partners all over the country The net cost of the program is zero. So what you pay in tuition is the same as what you earn working at your business partner. So check it out, discoverpraxis.com, and you can reach out anytime to any of us on the team. We're all very, very responsive. You can email me at isaac@discoverpraxis.com, and I'm happy to talk with you. Whether or not Praxis is a good fit, I'm happy to talk with young people who are just looking to do something that makes them come alive.
All right, Isaac, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you. That is discoverpraxis.com if you want to check it out. And this has been Bold Future News. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Bold Future News, and on Facebook, facebook.com/boldfuturenews. And we have a new website, boldfuture.news. A lot of great articles, editorials there as well. But until next time, I'm Remington Hernandez for Bold Future News.